Stop checking your phone. Put it down, look at me, and listen to the cold, hard truth that's making your chest heavy right now. She isn't texting back. She's busy. She's finding herself. But deep down, you know she's just not thinking about you. You've become a backup plan, a safety net, a guy who's so predictable that you've lost all your flavor. You're suffocating her with your presence while you're starving for her attention. It's a pathetic cycle, man, and if you don't break it today, you're going to spend the rest of your life being the guy women appreciate but never crave. We're talking about female psychology at its most primal level. Most men think that to make a woman interested, they need to do more. More texts, more flowers, more, "I'm here for you." That's blue-pilled logic, and it's why you're losing. If you want her to miss you badly, to the point where she's stalking your profile at 2 a.m. and wondering who you're with, you have to do the one thing you're terrified of doing. You have to disappear. You have to kill the version of you that's a nice guy and let a man of mystery take his place. Before we break down the high-level psychological triggers that will flip her world upside down, hit that subscribe button. You're here because you want to be elite, and we don't settle for average in this circle. The first psychological weapon you're going to use is the Zeigarnik effect. This isn't some dating coach fluff. This is pure cognitive science. The human brain hates an unfinished story. Right now, your story with her is finished. She knows exactly where you stand. She knows she can have you with a snap of her fingers. There is no tension, no question marks, no mystery. To make her miss you, you have to leave the conversation on a high note, and then silence. No good night text, no how was your day follow-up. You cut the cord when things are good. This leaves a loop open in her mind. Her brain will subconsciously try to close that loop by thinking about you, wondering why you stopped and imagining what you're doing. You need to become an unsolved puzzle. When you stop providing the ending, she starts writing her own scenarios. And usually, those scenarios involve you being with someone better or doing something more exciting than talking to her. This uncertainty is the exact moment attraction is born. Let's get into the scarcity principle. Why is gold expensive? Because it's rare. Why is the air free? Because it's everywhere. Right now, you are air. You're too available, too easy to breathe in, and because of that, she takes you for granted. You need to become gold. This means your time is a luxury, not a right. If she texts you, you don't reply in 3 seconds like a desperate puppy. You reply when you're done with your mission, whether that's the gym, your business, or your hobbies. And here's the slang truth. Stop leaking energy. Every time you double text or like her photo within minutes of it being posted, you're leaking your power. You're telling her, "My life is empty without your validation." A man who has a bag to chase and a legacy to build doesn't have time to stare at a glowing screen, waiting for a girl who's lukewarm about him. When you pull back your attention, you create a vacuum. And nature abhors a vacuum. She will feel the sudden drop in emotional pressure, and she'll start reaching out just to see if she still has that control over you. Don't give it back. Now, we dive into intermittent reinforcement. This is the psychology of gambling, the most addictive force on the planet. If a slot machine paid out every time, you'd walk away after 5 minutes. But because it might pay out on the next spin, people stay for hours. You've been paying out every single time she calls or texts. You're boringly consistent. To make her miss you badly, you have to be intermittently available. Give her 100% of your focus when you're together, make her feel like the only woman on earth, and then go ghost for a few days. No stories, no posts, no checking in. This hot and cold dynamic creates a dopamine spike in her brain. She'll start craving that hit of your attention again. This isn't about being toxic. It's about being a man who is occupied with his own life. When she realizes she can't predict your next move, she'll start obsessing over it. That obsession is the fuel that makes her miss you. She's not missing you yet. She's missing the feeling you gave her, and now she has to work to get it back. You have to understand the investment gap. In any relationship or interaction, the person who is more invested has the least power. If you're the one doing 80% of the talking, 90% of the planning, and 100% of the worrying, you've already lost. You need to flip the script so she's the one investing. This starts with your value perception. If she's not interested right now, it's because she perceives your value as lower than hers. You change that perception by focusing on your main character energy. Stop being a fan of her life and start being the star of yours. Go to the gym until you don't recognize yourself in the mirror. Level up your style. Secure your finances. When she sees, through the grapevine or a rare social media post, that you're thriving, leveling up, and looking better than ever without her, it triggers a loss aversion response. She'll realize that the stock she thought was low value is actually mooning, and she's missing out on the profit. This makes her regret her lack of interest. It makes her wonder, did I make a mistake? And that doubt is the bridge that leads her back to your inbox. Finally, you need to master the power of the walk away. The most attractive thing a man can do is be willing to lose her. Most men are so afraid of losing the girl that they'll tolerate disrespect, coldness, and breadcrumbing. She can smell that fear, and it's a total turnoff. To make her miss you, you have to show her that you are perfectly fine, better even, without her. This is the ultimate alpha move. When she gives you that not interested vibe or starts acting busy, you don't argue, you don't ask what's wrong, and you definitely don't beg. You simply say, cool, let me know when you're free, and then you move on with your life as if she's just another person you met. When you truly, internally detach, your energy shifts. You stop being thirsty and start being grounded. Women are instinctively drawn to men who are emotionally self-sufficient. When she realizes that your happiness doesn't depend on her, she'll suddenly want to be the reason for your happiness. She'll miss the old you that chased her, but she'll be addicted to the new you that doesn't need her. That is how you win. That is how you make her miss you, until it hurts. Now, let's go deeper into the rabbit hole of female psychology, because if you really want to live rent-free in her head, you have to understand the pre-selection trigger. This is biological, man. Women don't look at men in a vacuum. They look at men through the lens of how other women perceive them. If you're just sitting at home, staring at her Instagram stories and waiting for a sign, you're broadcasting to the world, and to her, that no other woman wants you. That's low-value energy, and it's a total attraction killer. To make her miss you, especially when she's acting uninterested, she needs to see, or at least sense, that you have options. I'm not saying you go out and post fake pictures with random girls. That's thirsty and transparent. I'm saying you actually get out there. You expand your social circle. When she sees you in a photo with high-value people, or she hears through the grapevine that you were out having the time of your life with a group that includes attractive women, something primal clicks in her brain. It's called social proof. Suddenly, her disinterest turns into curiosity. She starts thinking, wait, why are all these people around him? What did I miss? Did I misjudge his value? Her ego cannot handle the idea that she let go of a man that other women are lining up for. That's when the I miss you texts start disguised as, hey, saw you were at that place, how was it? You also need to master the psychology of the void. When you stop chasing, you create a silence that is deafening. Most guys mess this up because they can't handle the silence for more than 3 days. They get weak, they get lonely, and they send that I just wanted to check in text. Boom, game over. You just filled the void and proved you're still her puppet. To truly make her miss you, you have to let the silence sit until it becomes uncomfortable for her. In psychology, this is related to sensory deprivation. When she's used to your constant validation and suddenly it's gone, her brain starts to experience a withdrawal. She'll go through phases. First, she'll be relieved, then she'll be confused, then she'll be annoyed, and finally, she'll be obsessed. She will check your social media to see if you're hurting. If she sees you're actually leveled up, maybe your skin is clearer, your frame is bigger, or you're just genuinely smiling in a photo, it destroys her. She realized the void you left wasn't a hole in your life. It was a hole in hers. You have to be the man who is so focused on his bag and his mission that her absence doesn't even register as a blip on your radar. That is the ultimate USA alpha mindset. Let's talk about emotional reframing. You've been looking at her not being interested as a rejection of your soul. Stop that. Reframe it as her being blinded by your previous low-value behavior. You have to rebrand yourself in her mind, but you can't do it with words. You do it with pattern interruption. If your old pattern was being the guy who always asked, "What are you doing?" Your new pattern is being the guy who is too busy to even know what day it is. You need to develop a cold-warm cycle. If she eventually reaches out, you aren't cold or mean. That shows she still affects you. You're warmly indifferent. You're polite, you're kind, but you're brief. You treat her like a distant cousin you haven't seen in years, someone you like, but someone who isn't a priority. This indifference is a dagger to the heart of a woman who is used to being put on a pedestal. It forces her to chase your validation to prove to herself she's still got it. This flips the dynamic of intermittent reinforcement back onto her. Now, she is the one pulling the lever, hoping for a payout of your attention. Now listen to me. This part is for the guys who are serious about the long game. You need to undergo a physical and financial transformation that is so undeniable it hurts. This isn't just about making her miss you, it's about making her regret ever losing you. In female psychology, hypergamy is always running in the background. She is hardwired to look for the best possible option. If you stay the same guy who got rejected, why would she ever come back? You need to hit the gym with a vengeance. You need to fix your money. You need to upgrade your fit. When she sees the 2.0 version of you, the guy who looks like $1,000,000 and carries himself with the quiet confidence of a king, she won't just miss you, she'll feel a physical ache of loss aversion. She'll see that you've outgrown her. And nothing makes a woman want a man more than the realization that he is now out of her league. You aren't doing this for her, you're doing it for you. But the byproduct is that she will become a ghost of her former self, chasing the man you've become. Don't forget the ghosting with purpose technique. This isn't about ignoring her because you're mad. It's about being so immersed in your own growth that you genuinely forget to reply. This is the difference between a simp and a savage. A simp ignores her to get a reaction. A savage ignores her because he's busy conquering his world. When she realizes that you're not playing a game, that you actually are that busy and that successful, it triggers a deep respect. Women cannot love a man they don't respect, and they can't respect a man who has no life outside of them. By building a world where she is an optional extra rather than the main event, you become magnetic. You become the man she dreams about because you're the only man who didn't fold under her pressure. You stayed solid, you stayed grounded. And now, she's the one waiting by the phone, hoping for a crumb of the attention you used to give her for free. If you want to keep receiving these high-level psychological blueprints to dominate your life and your relationships, make sure you're subscribed. We're just getting started. Listen, we're at the end of the road here, and this is where most men fumble the bag. You've done the work, you've gone ghost, you've hit the gym, and you've started stacking your bread. But now comes the ultimate psychological test, the re-entry. Somewhere down the line, she's gonna realize the silence from your side isn't a glitch, it's the new reality. She's gonna reach out. It might be a happy birthday, a hey, I saw this and thought of you, or a can we talk? This is the exact moment where you either solidify your status as a legend or you go straight back to being her emotional doormat. If you fold the second she gives you a crumb of attention, you kill every bit of progress you've made. To make her miss you for the rest of her life, you have to show her that the door she closed didn't just shut. It's been reinforced with steel. You don't ignore her out of spite. You respond with a level of polite indifference that makes her realize she no longer has a seat at your table. You treat her like a stranger you once knew, not a queen you're trying to win back. When she feels that cold shift, that's when the miss you turns into a permanent scar on her ego. She didn't just lose a guy. She fumbled a man who was capable of walking away without looking back. No cap, that's the most haunting thing a woman can experience. A man who is truly, deeply, and unapologetically over her. You have to realize that this whole journey wasn't actually about her. The female psychology was just the bait to get you to fix your own life. To make her miss you badly, you had to become a man who doesn't even care if she misses him or not. That is the ultimate paradox of attraction. The moment you stop needing her is the moment you become the most magnetic version of yourself. Don't trip over a girl who didn't see your value when it was right in front of her. While she's out there playing games and chasing clout, you should be out there building an empire. Make your life so loud, so successful, and so vibrant that her memory becomes a whisper in a hurricane. You want her to see you on a billboard, in a magazine, or just looking like a straight-up boss in the street and think, Damn, I really let that man go. That regret will live rent-free in her head forever. That is your victory. Not getting a text back, but becoming a man who is so high value that a text from her feels like a distraction from your greatness. So, stand up, fix your posture, and get back to work. The simp you used to be is dead. Bury him. Don't let his ghost haunt your future. You are the prize. You are the one who provides the value, the protection, and the strength. If she couldn't see that, it's her loss, not yours. Stop mourning a connection that was one-sided. Start celebrating the fact that you're finally free to become the man you were always meant to be. If you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting, if you're ready to take the wheel of your own life and never look back, then you're in the right place. This isn't just a video, it's a wake-up call. Every second you spend wondering what she's doing is a second you're losing on your path to the top. Cut the tether, kill the hope, build the man. Before you click off and go back to your mission, do yourself a favor. Subscribe to the channel and join the Brotherhood. We don't do average here. We don't beg for attention. We take what's ours through discipline, psychology, and pure, unadulterated grit. You've got the tools now. You know the triggers. You understand the void. Now go out there and be the man she'll regret losing for the rest of her life. The world is waiting for you to win. Don't let him down. Stay dangerous, stay grounded, and most importantly, stay gone until you're a god.